Ever wondered what makes an Oreo so irresistible? Picture this. You twist open that perfect black and white cookie, revealing a silky smooth cream filling that practically melts on your tongue. The crunch of the chocolate wafer, the sweet, velvety center, and the inevitable milk dunk. This iconic ritual has been part of American culture for over a century. There's something magical about Oreos. They're not just cookies, they're a childhood memory, a midnight snack, and for many, a lifelong obsession. Since their debut in 1912, these legendary treats have captured hearts all over the world. But how exactly are Oreos made? How did they rise to become the world's most famous cookie? Get ready because we're diving deep into the delicious secrets behind Oreo's history, its evolution, and the fascinating process that transforms raw ingredients into the classic cookie we all know and love. The story of Oreo begins in the early 1900s when Nabisco introduced this chocolate sandwich cookie to compete with a similar snack called Hydrox, created by Sunshine Biscuits in 1908. While Hydrox had a head start, Oreo quickly stole the spotlight, thanks to its marketing genius and slightly sweeter flavor. Nabisco filed the Oreo trademark in March 1912, just weeks after launching the product. But here's a mystery that still baffles fans today: the origin of the name Oreo. Some believe it comes from the French word, or, meaning gold, possibly because gold represented quality and luxury at the time. Others think it was just a short, catchy name that rolled off the tongue. Whatever the reason, Oreo became an instant hit. The first Oreos weren't exactly what we see today. Their original design featured a simple wreath pattern surrounding the name Oreo. Over time, Nabisco refined the design, creating the iconic embossing we all recognize. The cookie's name also went through changes, from Oreo biscuit to Oreo sandwich, and finally in 1974, settling on Oreo chocolate sandwich cookie. Fast forward to today and Oreo has gone global with countless variations. From double stuff and mega stuff to golden Oreos and wild flavors like birthday cake and mint, there's an Oreo for every craving. But no matter how many flavors they release, nothing beats the classic. So, what goes into creating these perfect cookies? It all starts with the dough made in giant stainless steel mixing vats. The process begins by combining key dry ingredients: flour, cocoa powder, sugar, and baking soda. Then comes the magic, rich cocoa for that deep chocolate flavor, a dash of salt to balance sweetness, and vanilla extract to enhance the aroma. These ingredients are blended in powerful industrial mixers for about 1 to 2 minutes. Why so precise? Because overmixing can make the cookies tough, while undermixing leaves them inconsistent. Every detail matters when you're producing millions of Oreos every single day. Once the dough is perfectly mixed, it's time to give it that signature Oreo look. The dough is fed into massive rolling machines that flatten it into a uniform sheet, almost like rolling out pastry dough, but on an industrial scale. From there, it enters a high-speed stamping machine. This machine doesn't just cut the dough into perfect circles, it embosses each one with Oreo's iconic pattern. This design isn't just for aesthetics. It also gives the cookie texture, which adds to its satisfying crunch. Next comes baking. The shaped cookies ride a conveyor belt straight into an enormous industrial oven, heated to a precise temperature of around 350 degrees Fahrenheit 177 degrees Celsius. Timing is everything here. If the cookies bake too long, they'll turn dry and crumbly; too short, and they won't develop that crispy snap Oreo fans expect. On average, the cookies spend about 12 minutes inside this oven, where they bake to perfection, emerging with that rich, dark chocolate color and irresistible aroma. Fresh out of the oven, the cookies need to cool completely. Why? Because if they're too warm, the cream filling would melt, ruining the texture and look of the final product. Cooling also allows the cookies to firm up, making them strong enough to handle the next step, the creamy filling. Speaking of which, the Oreo filling is its own star. Made from a blend of powdered sugar, shortening or vegetable oil and vanilla flavoring, the cream mixture is whipped until smooth and fluffy inside huge mixing tanks. These tanks continuously stir the filling to keep its texture consistent for every single cookie. Now comes the fun part: sandwiching the cookies. The cooled chocolate wafers move along a conveyor belt where robotic nozzles deposit the perfect dollop of cream onto one half of the cookie. These machines are incredibly precise, ensuring every Oreo gets the same amount of filling. The second cookie half is then gently pressed on top, creating that flawless sandwich we all know and love. This process happens in seconds. Oreos are produced at an astonishing rate to meet global demand. But the job isn't done yet. The newly assembled Oreos head through a cooling tunnel where the cream filling is set to maintain its smooth texture. After that, every batch undergoes strict quality checks. Inspectors ensure that each Oreo meets the company's high standards: perfect shape, ideal cream-to-cookie ratio, rich dark color, and that signature taste. Once approved, the cookies are quickly packaged using automated machines that wrap them in trays or individual packs, ready to be shipped worldwide. Oreo isn't just about taste, it's also about responsibility. The brand's parent company, Mondelez International, has made sustainability a priority by investing in energy-efficient technology and sourcing ingredients responsibly. Cocoa is purchased through sustainable programs to reduce deforestation, while wheat and palm oil suppliers must follow environmental and social standards. So the next time you enjoy an Oreo, know that there's a lot of science, precision, and care behind that little cookie. Now, speaking of iconic snacks, let's switch gears to another American favorite: donuts. These golden rings of sweetness are practically a symbol of comfort food in the U.S. From classic glazed to chocolate frosted and jelly-filled, donuts dominate America's dessert scene, with an estimated 10 billion consumed every year. The love for donuts runs so deep that the first Friday of June is celebrated as National Donut Day. But where did this sugary obsession begin? The history of donuts goes back to the 17th century in the Netherlands, where settlers enjoyed a treat called oliekoeks, or oily cakes. These were dough balls fried in fat and often filled with fruit or nuts. When Dutch immigrants brought this recipe to America, it evolved into what we now call the donut. But what about that hole in the middle? According to legend, in the mid-1800s, a sailor named Hanson Gregory punched a hole in his donut to make it easier to cook evenly and handle while steering his ship. That innovation stuck, and today the ring-shaped donut is an American icon. Donuts became even more popular during World War I, when volunteers served them to soldiers on the front lines, offering a sweet taste of home. Today, donuts are everywhere, from local bakeries to big names like Dunkin' and Krispy Kreme. These brands have perfected the art of making donuts by combining traditional techniques with modern automation. Making donuts starts with a simple dough made of flour, sugar, milk, eggs, butter, salt, and baking powder or yeast. The ingredients are mixed in large vats until a soft, elastic dough forms. After mixing, the dough is left to rise in fermentation rooms, allowing yeast to work its magic. Once it's ready, the dough is punched down and fed into cutting machines that create perfect ring shapes, or filled donut shapes for jelly and cream varieties. The shaped dough pieces then travel along a conveyor to the fryer. Industrial fryers heat oil to around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, ensuring the donuts cook evenly and achieve that beautiful golden brown color. After frying, they're placed on racks to cool slightly before heading to the glaze station. Here, donuts get their irresistible finishing touch, whether it's a glossy sugar glaze, a rich chocolate coating, or a sprinkle of colorful toppings. Finally, the donuts are packaged and sent out fresh to stores across the country, ready to satisfy America's sweet cravings. From morning coffee runs to late-night snack sessions, donuts have secured their spot as one of the most beloved treats in the U.S. Oreos and donuts may seem like simple indulgences, but behind every bite is a world of history, engineering, and innovation. From century-old recipes to state-of-the-art machines, these snacks represent a blend of nostalgia and modern perfection. Have you ever wondered how the fluffy white rice on your dinner plate or inside your favorite sushi roll makes its way from a muddy field to your table? It's one of those everyday foods we take for granted, yet the process behind it is nothing short of fascinating. Today we're diving deep into the incredible journey of rice, from its ancient roots in U.S. farms to the high-tech machines that clean, dry, mill, and polish each tiny grain until it's perfect for cooking. Stick around because by the end you'll not only understand how rice is grown and processed, but you'll also learn some mind-blowing facts about its history, varieties, and the amazing role it plays in global cuisine. Plus, we'll reveal the answer to a fun quiz at the end. Which agricultural revolution is most closely associated with rice? Let's get started. Rice is more than just a side dish. It's a global staple that feeds billions of people every single day. In fact, more than half the world's population relies on rice as a primary source of calories. Here in the United States, the rice industry is a major player in agriculture, contributing more than $34 billion to the economy every year. Annual U.S. production hovers around 20 billion pounds of rice, and while the U.S. might not be the largest producer globally, it is one of the top exporters outside Asia, shipping premium rice varieties to markets all over the world. Still, the U.S. only accounts for about 5% of global rice supply, which shows you just how massive and essential this crop really is. Before we get into the science and technology behind modern rice production, let's take a quick step back in time. Rice has an incredible history that stretches back about 10,000 years. Experts believe it was first domesticated in the Yangtze River Valley in China. From there, it spread throughout East Asia, then into India and Southeast Asia, becoming a cornerstone of diets across the region. Over time, different types of rice evolved, adapted to various climates, and cultivation methods became more advanced. Ancient farmers created terraced fields, developed irrigation systems, and learned how to control flooding to maximize yields. Through trade and migration, rice eventually reached the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. When European explorers and colonizers traveled to the Americas, they introduced rice to the southern United States, where it became a key crop, especially in states like South Carolina and Louisiana. Today, rice is more than just a food, it's a symbol of culture, tradition, and survival across the globe. So, how exactly does rice grow? It requires unique conditions that most crops can't handle. Rice thrives in water, which is why you often see images of vast, shallow, flooded fields known as paddies. These water-filled fields not only help the rice plants grow but also suppress weeds and pests naturally. In the U.S., rice farming is concentrated in 6 states: Arkansas, California, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Texas. Each state uses cutting-edge technology combined with time-tested farming practices to produce high-quality rice. The first step is preparing the land. Farmers level their fields with precision technology to ensure proper water control because rice fields must be flooded evenly. Once the fields are ready, the rice seeds need to be planted. Here's where it gets really interesting. In the U.S., airplanes are often used to seed rice fields. Yes, you read that right. Farmers load planes with rice seeds and scatter them across flooded fields in a process called aerial seeding. This method allows them to plant thousands of acres quickly and efficiently, ensuring a uniform crop. As the seeds germinate and begin to grow, the rice plants go through several key stages: tillering, heading, and ripening. This growth phase takes several months and depends on the variety of rice and climate conditions. Farmers carefully monitor water levels, nutrients, and pests throughout the season. Then, just a few weeks before harvest, something important happens. The water in the fields is gradually drained. This allows the rice plants to dry out and prepare for harvest. When the plants turn from green to a beautiful golden yellow, they're ready to be collected. Now comes the high-tech part, the harvest. Farmers use massive machines called combines, which are like the superheroes of modern agriculture. A combine harvester performs 3 major tasks at once. It cuts the rice plants, separates the grains from the stalks, and collects the grains into a holding tank. These machines can cover large fields quickly, saving time and labor. The harvested rice at this stage is known as paddy rice because the grains are still encased in their outer husks. Once harvested, the rice is transported to a processing facility, and this is where the transformation from raw grain to the polished white rice you see in stores begins. First, the rice needs to be dried because freshly harvested rice contains a lot of moisture, making it prone to mold or spoilage. In large commercial operations, mechanical dryers are used to blow warm air over the grains, gradually reducing the moisture content to about 13 to 14%, which is ideal for storage and milling. This drying process must be done carefully. Too much moisture can lead to rot, while over-drying makes the grains brittle and prone to breaking. After drying, the rice goes through milling, which removes the husk and bran layers to reveal the edible white grain. The process starts by running the paddy rice through machines that gently rub the grains together, loosening and removing the tough outer husk. Next, the bran layer is removed in stages until only the white inner kernel remains. After milling, the rice is polished to give it a smooth texture and shiny appearance. During milling, some grains break, and these broken pieces are separated and sold for different purposes. Whole grains are premium, while broken grains often go into cereals, snacks, or processed foods. Once polished and graded, the rice moves to packaging. For retail, it's packed into smaller consumer-friendly bags or boxes with clear labeling that includes the rice type, weight, and nutritional details. For restaurants and bulk buyers, it's packed in large sacks or industrial containers. From here, it's shipped nationwide and even globally, ready to appear in everything from sushi rolls at your favorite Japanese restaurant to creamy risottos, comforting rice puddings, and savory Cajun dishes. Speaking of dishes, rice isn't just a blank canvas. It's the foundation of some of the world's most beloved recipes. Take sushi for example. The vinegared rice, lightly seasoned with sugar and salt, is what gives sushi its distinct flavor and texture. Or consider biryani, a fragrant and flavorful dish from the Indian subcontinent that layers spiced meat or vegetables with long-grain basmati rice. And who can forget rice pudding, that sweet, creamy dessert enjoyed across cultures? Rice truly shines in countless cuisines, from Spanish paella to Louisiana jambalaya. Before we wrap up, let's answer that quiz question. Which agricultural revolution is associated with rice production? The answer is the Green Revolution. This mid-20th century movement revolutionized agriculture worldwide by introducing high-yield crop varieties, modern irrigation methods, and synthetic fertilizers. Rice was at the heart of this change, helping to increase global food production and fight hunger. Isn't it incredible how much work, science, and history goes into every grain of rice you eat? From the aerial seeding of flooded fields to the precision drying and polishing at high-tech mills, rice production is a perfect blend of tradition and technology. So, the next time you scoop up a spoonful of rice, remember, you're enjoying a food with a 10,000-year legacy that continues to shape cultures and economies around the globe. If you loved this deep dive into how rice is grown and processed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing factory tours and food production stories. Stay curious, and we'll see you on the next journey inside the world of how things are made.